you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So calling us tardy at 12:08, we will do a roll call for attendance. Ms. Arp.
Here.
Mr. Byer is unexcused. Ms. Ensley.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Here.
Ms. Howland is excused. Ms. Powell, hopefully on the way, but is currently unexcused. Mr. Friesinga.
Here.
Mr. Wilkes is excused. And Mr. Ringler is present. Public comments, those citizens wishing to speak on any agenda or non-agenda items are allowed a maximum of 4 minutes to address any of their concerns. It's the only time during the DDA meeting that citizens are allowed to address the board. Please state your name and address for the record if you would like. Is there anyone who wishes to speak?
Ms. Powell's indicated that she is on her way.
Okay, hearing no comments, we'll move on to any conflicts of interest and ex parte communication. Hearing none, we would move on then to the approval of the agenda. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to review that briefly. And that needs to be added or changed. If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second.
Need a motion first?
A motion.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Keep saying aye. Thank you. Any opposed, same sign. Motion is approved. And the consent agenda, which would include approval of the minutes from the regular meeting last month and to accept and file the financial report, which is contained in your packets.
A motion. Second.
Thank you so much. And all approved indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Unfinished business, deck the downtown lights updates. Sir.
This is now almost a week old, but I believe we've only had 2 businesses take advantage of.
We've been waiting because we were in the last
I
year.
appreciate it. So I guess at this point, I'd say if you are interested, I want to purchase and supply Ms. Falcon with a copy of her receipt and name of who would like to. And obviously encourage other businesses who are not here to take advantage of this, and we'd like to see the downtown lit program.
Share that again on the DDA page too, so. Okay, any other discussion on the lights update? Move on to the sign committee then, and I think Ms. Powell can also speak to that when she arrives, but if we look, this will be on page 9 of your packet. The sign committee did meet this week and we went through and updated our previous map, which I believe had been shared previously by email. And this then would indicate 6 potential signs that we may consider going forward as a recommendation from the committee. The police sign obviously would be future. We're waiting for the new police station, but that would be located there at the corner of the notes can indicate that Ms. Powell joined us at 12:11. That would be a future sign once the police station is done there at the corner of the trail in Muskegon. So had a chance to look at that. If you have any comments. Otherwise, we would submit this and recommend this for the sign, for our sign budget that's already approved. I think we also had some removal of the green sign. We were trying to verify some of the green signs that had been there. I think most of those are gone, but we.
Mr. Ringer, I'm looking at page 9. So is this the list then that you were recommending?
For the current list, I think we had some that were future, but these would be the ones that we would currently be recommending.
This thing, I'll investigate and then I'll have our guys come up with quotes for the sign itself and installation.
And these would be consistent with the other ones that we've done, the same size and format and style and font and colors, et cetera.
Yeah, so for, I guess my part, you know, the work that you guys put into the design of the signage in the city, not about all at least for what we use for the standard moving forward.
Good.
I've heard no complaints from planning commission or city council. I think it looks good. So
I do too.
every sign in the future will be, at least until somebody says otherwise. we use the same standards.
Cool. I think it looks a lot better when you drive through and you see those signs consistently in our city colors, so. All right. Awesome. Then we would move on to a mural update. We had a discussion on that last month with some potential locations, and I don't know how much of an update that we have.
Well, so
Unless you do.
the reason I put it on here is because I think there's a couple of options. Mr. Reason and I talked about one that, what do you want to call that? A wall.
It's a fence, like a metal fence between my building and
South
concrete.
of his building.
Who owns that?
Concrete.
So it's on the Cronkite property, and I think there might be a way in the ordinances to allow that fence to continue to exist. And so what we would, I guess, propose is we go to Mr. Cronkite and say, if you allow the DDA to pay for it, we move back, I don't know, 5-6 feet. We direct it, new, brand new, looks nice. We put a bench in front of it.
Or maybe two of them that face inward would be nice, and then you can do the big butterfly thing or whatever you want for an Instagram site.
And then, you know, it wouldn't cost him anything except for an agreement to allow us to do it. That's one option. But I was also thinking with the picnic area on the other side of the street, the city would want to have some kind of fencing to prevent people from crossing over Mr. Fage's property there. Because you wouldn't know it just by looking at the property lines. So we could install a similar type of fence and use that in murals as well. But these are all just future ideas. So I guess, does this board have any specific property that they want to work on? Oh, in this end, like, I believe that you had previously talked about Nicky and Company potentially getting their permission to use their property. Done that?
I think from our last meeting, we had talked about focusing first on the city property until we could get some of these private permissions, correct?
Okay, so the city wants to paint this building that's next door to us. I believe we have money in the budget for it. So maybe in the spring, what we'll do then is have the whole thing, you know, painted and maybe paint the front just like plain white. And then that would give us a canvas for the mural. So I don't know if you guys want to start working on putting the word out, looking for mural samples. I don't know how the mural community works.
I mean, I have 3 of them and I've worked with in the past. I think Laura had some as well. So I mean, I'm happy to submit those guys, but if we want to have somebody else, Nick is the one who did the one at the staging area. I mean, but obviously that was just our design. He just painted it. You know, this would be having an artist do their thing.
Yeah, so I think
Within our
that's what
parameters.
the board has talked about is allowing the artist to put in their, you know, thing that they want to do. Now, I think we should, at least somewhere in the city, have butterfly wings or angel wings, because that's a thing that, you know, people like, but allowing the artist to have a vision on a canvas somewhere, you know.
Speaking of that, can I ask if my muralist stopped in?
So the muralist that painted on the side of the ends of the building did stop in, and the gist of the conversation was, I no longer like what I painted. I would like to repaint it.
For free.
For free. And the problem is that when the artist did the work, they signed over that mural to this board. So this board owns that mural, and you can't just go willy-nilly and repaint over. So if they wanted to do that, and if the board was okay with it, we can come up with some kind of agreement. But obviously, they presented a plan and then they painted their plan. So I think at the very least, if this person wanted to do it, we'd require that they present a new plan of what they want to do. So it's this board for approval. And then if you guys approve it, we'll come up with the documents necessary.
So let me just say that I hate it and I want it redone. So if that could be something we would agree, be amazing.
It's certainly entertaining. Yeah, I mean, whatever, but
I think so.
and again, but I think to your point, we'd like to see what they.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely want to
Just
see
in
it.
case he went off.
I don't recall seeing the original one.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was submitted, but there wasn't supposed to be pink, and I hate the pink.
It's mauve then,
I-
right?
yeah, well, yeah, I just don't want it on the side of the building.
I could support it, but I absolutely want to see it and not put out a penny until
Yep.
we
Oh,
approve
she's
it.
not, we're
She's
not
doing it
paying
for free.
anything.
Don't cost
She's
them
doing it
nothing
for
for free.
free.
But still,
But I
you just want to
definitely
make
still
sure
want-
what it is
I still
appropriate.
want to make sure it's acceptable to the
Yeah.
board.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, from the city's perspective, I'm just a little concerned that if we allow that type of thing to continue willy-nilly half a year off, that it's, we're gonna look like we don't know what we're doing. And that we, don't properly vet people.
Oh, I read the internet. I already know that we don't know what we're doing.
So I think
If we're
this,
okay with that,
It's on the net.
accept it.
if she can add more to get rid of the pink, that would be absolutely fantastic. Or you may see me out there with a spray can,
So I
as soon
think,
as my arms
I
start.
think the board's position then is that the artist can submit some
Okay.
option and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
That
I'll
would
get
be-
it.
We'd be open to it, I think.
Yes.
Good.
Would it have to be primed again or, I mean, completely covered again or?
Bases there, they would just have to repaint. Ever submit her new conception,
Mhm.
and it could go before this
Spray it.
board to yes or no,
Right.
or make changes. Kind of the bottom line. And if it's no cost, if it looks better, maybe they, I have a lot of people too tell me, like, "You don't have that."
Okay, any further mural discussion? Otherwise, I would suggest that we move on in page 11. Moving on to new business, we have proposed meeting dates for the upcoming year.
We got
October
Halloween.
31st date, obviously being highlighted as a potential conflict.
What is that?
On page 11,
Yes,
there are
I'm on it.
proposed dates. So if we look at those, looks like the
Yeah.
October 31st is highlighted as a potential conflict.
Okay.
New Year's Eve.
October 31st is Halloween.
Yes, that too.
January 31st.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
No.
Yeah.
February 28th, I'll for sure not be here. That's my wife's 50th birthday weekend.
Oof.
so.
You're gonna.
Well, I won't be here to any of them.
And so
You don't count.
staff recognizes, especially in the winter, this board doesn't always like to meet. So, December, January, February, frankly, we're kind of okay with canceling those meetings. But we had to have the meeting on the.
We have, I think this past year, at least, we did some of the informational ones early, and obviously the budget is presented on the February meeting, according to this.
Well, I mean, look, I think the clerk sometimes likes to have these things as early as possible, because when we inevitably can't agree to something, we have another month to sort it out. But the city's budget isn't completed until.
Wait, January 31st is not New Year's Eve. That's,
1st of June, late May.
there's no December, where this is January 31st. That's not New Year's Eve.
You don't have a meeting for December.
That was already established for this year's, if we meet.
I won't be here in June.
I'll be here forever.
Do you ever go on vacation, Rose?
Just a few days at a time. Next year, we're gonna take a long one. But I don't know when.
I will
And
be,
also, not to throw a wrench in your works or anything, but.
will be gone on the,
How the city
April 1.
council and planning commission meetings are, it's very difficult for me to take vacation time in the first part of the month, which inevitably means I will tend to miss some DDA meetings. But I can also attend via Zoom. You guys can't, but I can.
I was gonna say, how's that work?
I'm not a board member.
Mm.
Along with other board members.
That's just great that we
Well,
can do this. You can do this.
obviously we-
Zoom.
if we need to change some of these, I know there's only, the only one I'll miss is the April one, according to a quick preview, but we do need to approve the calendar. So unless we know that we have a date that is at the moment a conflict for the vast majority of us, I would entertain a motion to approve the calendar as submitted.
31st of October. Change that.
I don't think it's a big deal myself.
I don't think it's a big deal.
We can dress up.
Ah,
Well, that'd be fun.
That would
We
be
could change them at any time.
I'll second that.
I'd entertain a motion first. I need a
Oh, I thought you did.
Emotion.
I second it.
wonderful. If there's no other discussion, then I would ask you to indicate approval by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, calendar carries. Tables at 17 North Main Street.
So I sent you guys an email earlier. This one kind of. Well, there's a few elements I'd like to see added to that site eventually. Picnic tables are probably the first and most important element. But, there's a range of options. We could mix them in, have different types. But I mean, you guys are business people. You know, when you put anything out in public, some things can be destroyed, some things can be graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
I like that style.
I do too.
Either black or red.
Whether it can be fixed or not. One of the things at the Calder Plaza I really like is they have basically wicker patio chair sets, which look great, but they also weigh about 5 pounds and could easily be tossed in traffic, right? But we don't also have to have just picnic tables. We could have 4 or 6 picnic tables, and we could have, what do you call them, the stuff you got in front of your business?
Oh, Adirondack chairs.
You'd have some Adirondack mixed in there too, so.
You're gonna want to bolt them down.
Or benches.
Well, I perused some of the websites and I just if you guys want to pass that down.
They just put those in Sand Lake. They look super nice.
Well, I would say either red or black, but I mean, those are nice. They're accessible. People can get in and out. And if you have handicap issues, they can wheel a chair right up to them. So it's.
Yeah, so they usually leave one of them off.
Yes.
For handicapped people.
Yes. Like
I
the
think
ones at the
gap's actually
staging
wide
area.
enough. There's an ADA compliant version where the gap is wide enough
Oh,
that
that's
they can
cool.
slide right in. So
That's a
On
good
all
deal.
4 sides or
They're
one
very
side or?
unique.
it's
They would work
on the website. If you looked at the
Okay.
website that he sent.
Those are nice.
Those are durable. They look nice. They're weatherproof. They drain, so you're not gonna sit in the water.
Excellent.
They don't look bad.
I haven't seen it, but is this a rubberized steel?
Yeah, it's the rubberized steel, the round version that has the slots, so you aren't crawling over
So the
people.
only problem with this one that my DPW director will tell you is that the rubberized can be peeled off.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some kind of spray paint that can be used, but
What is the material on the ones at the staging area? That has held up so well all these
Rubber?
years.
Rubber.
Not really.
They're real tough, like that Rhino Lover, that spray you put on your vehicles and the pickups.
Mhm.
There's that spray on there. And then the staging area ones, those are just powder coated, baked on. And that's the red, that's why they've held up.
And they're beautiful.
Well, maybe
They're
there is a
still just
powder coated
perfect.
version like that, but like I said, I would say either black to match the benches that we got or red.
so I didn't look too closely. Does this have an umbrella catch in the middle?
Again,
I
all I did was look at the style. I just printed up an image of the style. So I wasn't supposing that specific one, but that style
So that's part
for
of the reason we
accessibility
have
and
stuff
ease of
that
getting in and out.
is, would we think that an umbrella would be an important thing to have there?
No.
You don't want umbrellas.
Oh,
No
People
way.
will leave them open, a storm will come, they're gonna launch.
They're expensive. They get immediately ruined.
Yep.
What about a sunshade over the entire property?
Like a wind sail, they're cool.
Those are, a wind sail would be cool. Yep.
Especially if we're putting a fence up to block the back of it, because then we can put those posts in deep enough where we have 2 points, we can tie out to a single point out forward.
I have one of those at my lake house.
Nice.
No, maybe you have that, but they're awesome.
Yeah, we talked about putting that at our house.
Does it have to go up and down in the seasonal all the time?
You
Just
take
sail.
it down in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
you
it
don't
can't
want snow
withstand
on it.
snow.
They're just a canvas,
Mhm.
ventilated through.
And they're
They look
cheap,
nice.
like
Just
50
clip
bucks.
on with
They're cheap, but
carabiners
you
and
have to put them up in
turnbuckles.
such a way that they're,
Sturdy.
Yeah, they're sturdy. Yeah, you have. to
Wind
use
can
cans.
sail.
Not-
Pick it.
so that's a possibility.
Let's get the tables first, I would say. and then worry about that
So
later.
Mr. Wilkes looked into getting a quote for putting artificial grass there. Apparently to do it right, it's gonna be about $30,000.
Ouch.
I think we can mow grass.
So we can mow grass. Of course, they then have to push the tables around and stuff. That's not ideal. It's a lot easier if you already have a paved surface, just put AstroTurf on top of.
So go look at the, it's called the grill station or the grilling station or something on West River Drive, which is in that red building just adjacent to the Vestal. They have a big picnic area that they did with like, it's almost like you'd see on a baseball diamond, but it's more hard pack. So it's permeable, water will go through it. They have grasses growing all over. It's maintenance free. You don't have to cut it. You don't have to do anything to it. Once you put it in place and compact it down with a cement compactor.
Crushed stone.
Oh, I'm
crushed
sure.
lime.
Yeah, it's like really small
Real small.
crushed.
But at least the quote that we got from Tom Willis was
Fine.
$30,000.
This would be way cheaper than that. This
Oh, yeah.
stuff
You
would
can
be done
buy the
for.
truck
You
load.
can get
5
other
grand.
quotes for that, the rubberized surface or the river rock surface, those are all
Yeah,
options too. We
rubberized.
can look.
Don't you? You have some rubberized stuff in your,
We have the gravel out there,
Mhm.
I thought you had rubberized stuff when I was petting.
which
the
is
dog.
totally fine, but kids throw that stuff all over,
Oh, it's
so.
awful.
That stuff's terrible. Yeah, gets in your shoes.
Well, it's, yeah, it's a typical beer garden thing is the reason we did it, and it keeps Sarah busy, so.
Keeps the small kids.
She gets great gas mileage on her broom. I don't know how she does it, but
There, if we could just even make pads for the picnic tables, so they could be secured, and then the mowing could go around it, so they wouldn't have to be moved all the time.
So that's also an option, put some concrete pads or something out there. Or gravel pads of some kind. So yeah, I mean, obviously we wanted to reduce or minimize the amount of maintenance.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it creates a certain amount of, different, and different is interesting. So artificial grass is a possible future. You'll, Mr. Brazenville, you'll have to tell me again that location so I can go check it out.
Yeah, so it's called the Grilling Guys or the Grilling Station, I think it's called, and it's in the.
that's Keith's place, I think, Keith Hall,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know Keith Hall.
It's
so-
right, you know where
No,
the
he's-
Vestal
he's-
is?
He was from Cedar Springs.
On West
Used to be on the
You know where
DDA.
the Vestal is?
I don't get out much.
You know where the new brewery is on West River Drive? Archival, I think they call it.
I know there's a brewery in town.
There's a top
No.
shelf liquor store right next
Yeah.
door. It's
Yeah.
on
I
West
don't know there
River
either.
Drive.
Come on. what-
I'll text it to you.
When you're there, go get some barbecue. It's good, the best
Yeah.
The
ribs.
best
They run
barbecue.
out every
Yeah.
day.
It's amazing.
They run out every day.
Now, if you need to know where the gluten-free restaurants are, I got you.
Barbecue is gluten-free.
Yeah,
Okay.
Andy has
After
the-
meeting.
he has one of the best broccoli salads I've ever had. in my
Oh,
life.
it is so good.
Ribs, his best ribs and best broccoli.
So
So-
anyways, if you guys could continue to think on it, and then we'll make this part of our budget.
Should be a golf
Start
course
buying
there.
picnic tables and whatever else.
Okay.
Mike,
Any-
I wanted to ask you a couple questions about the park,
Which part?
the new downtown park.
Okay, this property.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
When all the tax laws changed and we had to start getting our properties into a public use, because otherwise we have to pay taxes on them. We created a committee. We had to name the park and put a sign on it. Remember that? Legacy Park.
Vaguely, yes.
There was 3 of us, Jerry, Pam, and I. And we created a list of names and ended up and voted on. Do we have to do that again to name that park to make it tax-free?
No, so
We already decided we're gonna call it Rose Park.
All right.
Rosa Park Circle.
only if
Roses.
it's a bunch of roses there. So you don't have to name parks.
No.
Now, the dog park is not named,
It just has to be designated.
It's Riggled Park in,
but the dog park itself is.
you're right, but it's in a park.
So it's more just what's the use of the property. So same thing with the current West Street locations where the RC airplane guys. are.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
not that we didn't name it a park.
Right,
It's that it's not being used for a public.
general
purpose
public, yes.
Because they, a private organization.
We make revenue off it. We rent it, so therefore it's.
Now, on the other hand, this
Tax.
property,
Mhm.
we're just gonna put picture tables out there and say, if anybody who wants to use it can.
Okay, so we don't have to put up a sign and name it like we did with Legacy.
Social
We
district
don't
too,
have
right?
to. Yeah. It would have been part of the
Well,
social
we had
district,
to
yeah.
last
We
time.
will fix the social district to make sure it can be used for that purpose.
Yeah,
But again, that's a winter thing. But right now, we're talking about really a budget for buying picnic tables and whatever else we want to see out there.
So we got to get a quote on the.
How, do you know what the size of that property is, if we're looking at surfaces?
Depends on. so
Ish.
The property actually goes back fairly deep.
yeah, it does.
But I would like to keep the public area to the area immediately adjacent to the parking lot.
So like 100 by 100?
No,
It's
Not even
gonna be that.
60
It'll be
by
like
60
30
something.
Or 40 by 70.
Okay.
we're very narrow.
I can measure it here in a second for you.
Oh, it's just a ballpark. That's all I'm just looking for if I start talking to some people about.
Can we name the park if we wanted to, like call it
Rose Park.
Cedar Springs Downtown Park? Could we do that?
Yeah, of course. So it's about 75 feet long and 35 feet wide. Now that's what I call the usable portion. It actually goes about double the distance further back.
That's enough. That's close enough for government work, so, no.
But the further back you go, now you're behind the jewelry
Jewelry
store,
store.
you're next to the
Right.
Marty Prater's house.
Okay.
Is that all private property behind there, or is that still a public alley?
Private.
So
All
it is-
private?
It is private property,
Mhm.
but I suspect there's probably an easement through there that everybody's agreed to for egress and egress. But that doesn't mean that the general public has the right to use.
Okay, because we did close some alleys to any kind of,
Just north end.
just the north end. So there is egress through there.
Used to be in
Yeah.
there, and it's right now,
Our
if,
company
the
actually has
jewelry shop wanted to, he could close that alley and everybody has to go out the other way.
Hmm.
If he wanted to, it's still,
Hmm.
right now, he's allowing Chief Frazier to use that as a driveway.
Yes.
But you have the other places to the north, they're coming in off of Elm Street.
Okay, so it's still a public egress in there if you
Yeah.
want to use it.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's a egress for the business owners.
The back
Oh.
of those businesses. in
And
the
that's
back.
part of the reason we're talking about putting fencing up.
Right,
is
right.
We have people out there drinking and picnicking and whatever.
Mhm.
We don't want them
Parking
walking across Marty Frazier's property.
or parking
Or
back there.
park,
Yeah.
Writing their name in the snow.
Oh, or snow angels.
I'm sure that doesn't happen. But if you're a Johnny citizen walking down the street,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably not gonna get in any trouble,
Mhm.
but we also don't want to become a regular.
Appreciate it.
I just was wondering because when we did close the alley for brewery and Ensley's and all that, shut it right off
They Requested,
if it was still the same, but it's not. Okay.
that was requested by them.
Okay, and it works.
Different.
Okay, any other discussion on the park then? Move on to a motion to pay the DPW to install the lights downtown for a price not to exceed $1,800.
Before you get to that, so as we were discussing prior to the meeting, the chamber approached me on this, and they were a little surprised at how much money this was going to cost. So I put it in front of you, well, the clerk has put it in front of you as a motion for the full amount. What I think I might recommend is, and I'm not on the chamber, I haven't talked to them yet. But maybe approve up to half that amount and let the chamber pick up the other half that amount. Now, if you guys want to pay the full $1,800, fine. I don't care, but just an option, you could have changed that to $900 and let the chamber pick up the rest.
Does the chamber have any money?
Not really. A little bit. I mean, we have a
We
little
do.
bit, but not a ton.
We-
Let's
we-
just say.
We do is
So
what
the
would my only,
DDA is well funded.
right.
And so you can pay for that whole amount, and that's fine, and then maybe subsequent to this, we should have a meeting between the city, DDA, and chamber. And figure out if this is a long-term thing we're gonna do in the community, we should be prepared for it for all three budgets. And I'm sure the city would be willing to put some more money towards it out of the city budget. But yeah, if DDA wants to pay for the full amount this year, that's your prerogative.
Well, in my mind, it's downtown development and getting people to shop and.
Here's the thought, in years past, chamber always paid for the lights. Yeah. It takes about 5 strings as an average on each tree, so you can do the numbers. What it takes, some of the smaller trees are less. But, even if the chamber could pay for the bulbs and the DDA could pay for the installation.
I was just saying, we probably need lights, I would guess.
Yeah, because I put them all up last year. There weren't anymore. And every year we got new ones from Rollins and they give them a really whopping good deal.
Yeah. But we probably should maybe get some
They-
better quality ones, you think?
Well, they got just the white ones and it seems they were like $1.50 a box.
Yeah, yeah,
What they were coming in at, and Rollins gave them a super discount.
yeah.
Who knows what the market's gonna be this year because of the shortage or whatever. They may be setting in a container out. That was just to pay.
Plus,
Yeah.
didn't you guys put up red and white last year?
Just a white. Don't we?
Red and white,
just
we
white.
went, rotated every other tree,
Oh, that's right.
red and white.
If you like that, I mean, I guess it's up to the chamber if they're gonna buy the lights.
That was all, that was their decision. You know,
But I think the question is, does the DDA want to pay for the full installation cost And let the chamber just handle the lights. That's a fair.
That'd be my suggestion. I mean, we have the money and I think it's downtown. That's part of our mission, so. In my opinion.
I think they should be up year round personally.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
I mean, every other town that you go through, literally, I mean, let's be honest, I've spent a lot of time in different towns this year in my motorhome, and I'm sure you did too, Todd. Everybody lights their downtown all year long.
If we do the picnic area and we're able to put a sunshade up, you could string lights. Yeah.
I think the only caveat there is we probably would have to go, they would have to commit to a better quality light than the $1.50 imported.
Very much so.
And a maintainment.
You're better off getting an LED.
We do need a better quality, and maybe I can chat with them about that if we don't have the big expense of paying for it for downtown, because I mean, Rose, we don't have tons of money. We can't
That's-
do that.
Yeah, but if we do this, we'll have to have some maintenance because the wind will blow them off and this and that. We'll have to have some agreement. Who's gonna,
GPS trucks are the worst ones, and the box trucks come through there and they get them. The lights they get now, their life expectancy is one winter, basically, because of the weather and the corrosion of the connections, and that's why they quit. Or if a truck comes by and snags it with their box, and that wipes out the whole lower half. That's.
what about that company we're working with down at there? What can they
So
do
we
for
got a
us?
quote to do downtown, and I don't remember how much it was. It was a lot, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that last year, yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and they'll come in and do it every year and buy high quality commercial lights for us, but.
They install them, put them up and take them down.
I think we did pay in the heart, didn't we, to have it
Yes.
done?
Yeah, that's a company I was thinking about.
I think in the next couple weeks, they're going out and doing it.
Be
But
on.
obviously they won't be lit, but they'll be up, so it's still decent weather.
Well, I think the question here would be if we like the idea of that this board would take care of the installation if the chamber is willing to buy the lights for this year.
It would take care of the problem this year, and then you could work on
We
it.
can have a larger discussion going forward, but if so, I would entertain a motion to approve a budget for installing the lights downtown. If we have another idea, go ahead and throw it out there.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that?
That's just this year.
That'd be just this year. And as this is a financial expenditure, I'll do a roll call vote, please.
Prior to that, so Mr. Brazinger, your motion is approved as presented.
Yes.
So we haven't had an actual agreement with the chamber yet to provide the lights, but,
Just for the practice.
uh-huh,
But
okay.
yeah, I think it's probably time now to sit down with them and hash out how we're gonna do it moving forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if, I think the public's gonna really like the Heart of Cedar Spring. If that's the case, we might wanna say, you know what, this is something we're gonna commit to, let's put more money.
Future.
It is delightful compared to the way it
Again,
was a
as
few
this-
years
as
ago.
this
It was
is an
horrible.
expenditure. I'm going to do a roll call vote, please. Ms. Arp.
Aye.
Ms. Ensley,
Yes.
Mayor Hall,
Yes.
Ms. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Reesinger, and Mr. Ringler also votes yes. Carries. We move on then to correspondence.
So you've got your calendar, that's mostly just a reminder, it also maintains the Zoom call and credentials. Then you'll see something regarding training, there's a group in Michigan called Main Street, I think. We don't have a budget for this type of stuff in this board, so I guess you can pay for it on your own if you're interested. Then Halloween flyer, as you guys will recall, this board asked to do Halloween on Friday. City council took everything into consideration and then decided on Saturday. I had the code enforcement officer drop off flyers to businesses. So hopefully you guys are all aware of that. Saturday, the 30th will be Halloween here in the city for downtown Main Street. and then the neighborhood design standing will mostly do the 31st. So if you're gonna participate, I'd appreciate you doing it on Saturday.
Did we get sheriffs for crosswalks yet?
I haven't seen Sergeant Ropes yet today. But as he's told me, it's virtually impossible to get anybody right now. Now, you'll recall, I did purchase some of those stand-up pedestrian crossing signs.
Mhm.
I'll make sure that those are out at the very least.
How many do we have?
4. So the intent was for crossing Maple Street, and crossing Ash Street.
Mhm.
And then likewise, those would be available for Maple Street for future events. But I mean, there's only so much I can do.
Would it help if we had volunteers maybe that had safety gear on to be out there? Or
I'll talk with Sarge about that as well,
Okay.
because,
I know it's a manpower thing, but I mean, if
Well,
concerned citizens
it's a
were.
manpower thing, it's also a legal thing,
Yeah.
because citizens can't stop traffic.
Right.
What about fire department?
Yeah, I don't know about that either, but.
Gray area for them.
Oh, some citizens have stopped traffic before, so.
Oh, I stop traffic. But legally,
Park the fire trucks and turn the lights.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, so.
Right, just trying to solve problems.
Then we'll get
That might
sheriffs.
be a safety issue, and we'll discuss how to do it. We might, so what we're talking about is bringing in extra deputies. What we
Yeah.
might end up doing is just have our guys who happen to be on shift that day,
Yes,
get some overtime or something to that effect.
That's what it amounts to.
we do
Okay.
have one that's here, already here and paid for, right?
Well, we have 3 day shifters, including Sarge, and then 2 night shifters.
Right, so
Really, what we would talk about is say to the day guys, hey, you want to make some extra money today?
we always have a night guy, so that's one that's already paid for, right?
The only issue, well, we have 2 night guys.
We have two shifts or,
It's 2 different shifts.
Okay.
2 patrol people each shift.
Okay.
plus the sergeant during the
Let's move on. This isn't germane to the discussion. City manager, DDA director's report.
Yeah, so one thing I guess I'd report is that the city council, I won't say authorized, but has encouraged me to take on an assistant city manager, which would help me get a lot of work done. And what I guess I would think is if I were to do that, I'd probably slot them in as the DDA director as well, which I think would be beneficial to this board. Because, and I apologize for this, I do sometimes feel like I don't give you guys as much time as you need. So that's a possibility for the future, but like everything else, it's very difficult to get anybody right now. But it's something I'm hopeful for next year, is that we'll have an assistant and we'll have volunteer staff in there.
excellent.
Okay, great. We will move on then to trustee comments, and let's start with Ms. Powell.
Sorry I was late.
Beautifully,
But,
well articulated.
Glad to see everybody, and this is Jerry's last meeting with us, and we appreciate your
My charter.
He's like, I'm
hard work for our city all these years. Thank you.
Been here too long.
Well, then let's move on to Mayor Hall then with,
Oh, it goes to you and then down.
oh no, I'm last.
I'm last. This will be, per charter, maybe be my last meeting with the DDA. I'm not leaving the planning commission right away. As you know, come the November election, my tenure will be over with the council. I've had 8 years on that. So in that time, we built a good team. We've got good momentum going, and I hope it continues. So this board here, you would need to look for a recruit to take my place. So, I always look at some business people that are visionary, that want to see the community grow, and, let's face it, not have an agenda. But we've done so many good things here in the last 4 years. We changed a lot. We brought 2 new businesses here in town. Plus, the bakery, and there's a lot of good things happening even in the background that people don't know going on. So more great things are coming, but it's been good times working with the DDA. I know you guys will continue what's best for the city. Thank you for allowing me. What they printed in the post is all a lie.
Thank you for your service. I know you've been here for as long as I can remember,
Too long.
for a long time.
40,
Yeah.
40 plus years.
Yeah, forever. So thank you for everything, and I'm sad to see you go, but I'm excited for you to retire and enjoy your life a little bit.
Well, yeah, I turned 73
High time, huh?
last week. Oh, but yeah, and oh, it's been a good ride. You know, I always look at it. This is my town, born and raised here. So it's like I always said, you know, never look back. Always look forward. You know, look at the visionary. If you look back, they'll pass you. Learn from the past history, good and bad. Work with that and build on that and move forward. And that's what this town needed. It needs to grow. And you folks, the planning commission and the council have that vision to make this town better, grow. We need growth,
We do need growth.
you know, but, you know, you guys are the key players on this, so I'm just a button pusher. Thank you for your guys' service to this community. You guys have businesses and it takes time from your businesses. Me, I'm just sitting around drinking coffee and they got to call and remind me. Thank you all. I'm done. Go.
Oh, it's your turn.
Well, thank you for your dedication. I appreciate it. Been here for a short period of time and working with you has been a joy. Good to see you put up the lights and stuff like that. It just shows how much your dedication is to
I
this.
don't think
town,
you're getting
so,
away without that.
Yeah, so I appreciate it.
You may get a dollar too.
It's real simple to do. This is my health and everything. That's why I quit. You know, I decided not to. So, you know, this board, you probably already know or heard. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer of the bone. They got it a little too late. I'm on medicine, so that's why I'm going weird. And then I finally went to a neurologist last week and they said, you've been misdiagnosed with central tremors. And now I have Parkinson's, so all my Agent Orange has caught me on my senior trip.
Senior
Today's
trip
a
to
good
Vietnam.
day. Every day's a good day, some better than other. Way I look at it.
Well, thanks for your service. You're gonna be missed. And if you do feel like watering plants, I'll put together a plant. You're gonna be bored out of your mind.
Well, you know, I've got this fishing boat that's rusting away in the.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, sheesh. What do you do with that? You know, when I got the place in the Upper Peninsula, I go up there twice a year to open it and close it. And then we have a place in Baldwin, we go there all the time, so.
Sounds like you better sell the
Keep it
place.
busy.
in UP.
Oh, forbid.
I know.
Can't do that.
I thought the next time you guys was gonna be help with that.
Right. No, I'm not going to UP.
I gave it to my son, the kids already. That's the stipulation that they can't sell it. It has to stay in the family.
Good.
For them to use. Now, the Baldwin place, you know where that can go, but.
Let me echo the others and thank you, Mayor Hall, for your service and for your service. You'll be missed, and let me buy you a cup of coffee whenever you're in the mood to stop by.
Okay.
But with that in mind, we are gonna need to look for some new members, so you know, it's something I think for all of us to start thinking about with some of the businesses that are coming to town. We're gonna need to bring some new blood to the board, so it's something for us all to keep in mind as we go forward, but thank you all for being here. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Are you making
I'll
the
make the
motion?
motion.
Judith?
Sorry.
All in favor?
Hi.
Parkinson on one side.